Going, everyone? Today I figured I'd do a different type of video. Not sure if I have a name series for it yet, but it's gonna be the first episode. But this is really just kind of me talking about many specific things, finding a relationship. And I think oftentimes we try to look for it in the wrong places. We seek the validation of other people. We seek to kind of feel like we're valued, and we want to kind of go off with just anybody. And I think God is oftentimes, letting us know that this is not the right person for us. Having same-sex attraction issues can really make it confusing, because then you kind of feel like you have to have that person, but at the same time you don't know whether you feel an attraction towards them or you just want to be friends with them. Because some of you guys may not have friends, so that may be a barrier for you. You may feel like, because you have these same-sex attraction issues, that you feel like you want to be in love with a man, you want to connect with a man in a deeply intimate way, but also you kind of have this hole that you kind of have where you kind of want to be friends with someone, you want to have those deep connections. And that's a tricky thing, because a lot of men, and really people in general, aren't really looking for that, especially when you get older and you end up kind of being alone to yourself. You could be isolated most of the time, not necessarily because of something you did wrong, but just because those people aren't there. I think that's why it's so important to obviously connect, with churches, connect with fellowships if you can. But a lot of times, even my personal life, I've been very disappointed with a lot of the friendships I've had, because they kind of ended up nothing. They kind of became very shallow, or they just became dry after a while. They stopped bearing fruit, or they just kind of died and withered away. And that's the kind of thing that's too, like you said, you may have friends, you may have those type of friends, but they are very shallow. They're very meaningless, and there's just it's a part of you that wants more, that's craving more out of those friendships. But because those people, because they're not interested in the same way as you, or they may not even have the same attractions to you, that they may not even want to be your friends, or they may not even want to, because they're concerned about, getting a girlfriend, or they're concerned about being married, or getting a job, or getting a career, going to school, doing homework. And that could be real barriers in your friendships. Even all the times, you see people hanging out with really gorgeous guys or hot guys that maybe you want as well, or you see hot men that are hanging out with these women. You may not feel attracted to them, but it may stir something up in you, and you may not like that. There are going to be men you find attractive, and you're going to have to somehow find a way to not feel that kind of way, that tension when that comes. And because of that, no matter where you go, you're always going to see men that you're attracted to. You're always going to see people that you want to connect with, that you want to have a relationship with. And I think the important thing is to balance out, you have to kind of accept the fact that yes, you are dealing with this, that you do have these feelings for that person, but at the same time realizing and also understanding, do I want to connect with this person? Do I have a spiritual attraction to this person, or is it merely just physically attracted to that person? Because that could be sometimes too, is that sometimes you may be attracted to someone, but that person could have a heart of Goliath, right? That person may have a heart of stone, or that person may be spiritually dead. And oftentimes you see people with these build up muscle and going to the gym and working out, stuff like that. But then when you get to talk to them about their intellect and about their spirituality, they end up coming out dry, and they don't really have any faith in God whatsoever. They end up not having those same core beliefs that you do, and they become, and I've seen in my own personal life where they become very arrogant, very prideful, and very egotistical. And that's what a lot of these men that work out are, because they feed into their flesh and not their spirit. And they end up becoming these men that really aren't at all good for you. I mean, I've had it, even one of my family members. My sister was dating this guy that was, muscular, bulky, and all that, but he ended up cheating on her. That was not a very good, healthy relationship. But yet that's how the relationship ended. And as of recording this video, they're still planning on breaking up. And I just kind of find it ironic, because you see all these good-looking men, these gorgeous men, but yet their hearts are so full of darkness. There are good men out there, and I think oftentimes we just have to remind ourselves to not lose hope. I'm still looking for that perfect man because, I still have attractions to men, but I also have to keep in mind that because I have my faith in God, that I can't be looking for the relationships that I used to want. When I was a teenager, when I was still secular, when I was still emo, I can't be looking for those those gay relationships anymore like I used to. And so I have to renew my mindset and think, well, what does God want me to have? And that could be the trickiest part, because sometimes you may be very well be feeling those things, and they could be valid. You may have those desires and attractions towards men where you want to have a relationship with that man. But then also you have to keep in mind, it may not be what God wants for you. God has the right people for you. He will bring those right people to you at the right time. Because whatever you may be struggling with, whatever you may be dealing with, whatever loneliness, abandonment issues you may be going through, even just rejection, because a lot of times you get those friends and you get those people that say you're your friends, but they don't call you or they don't text you. Or if you leave a message, or you leave a phone call, they don't answer you back. And you get those fake friends all the time. And you feel like, well, why is this happening to me so much, God? You said you're going to give me these friends, but yet they're doing these horrible, nasty things to me. And you just start to kind of wonder, well, is my intentions valid? Or am I really seeking the right thing? And then we want to go back to the past and thinking about how well our past used to be, about how well we used to perceive things. Wanted to go back to the pornography, wanted to go back to the lust, wanted to go back to hooking up with what other men or with other women, and doing those things and seeking vanity because it feels familiar, because it's a familiar feeling, and it gives us that validation to feel like we're loved when we don't feel like we're being loved right now by the world, because we're just feeling like we've been hurt so many times by other people that just kind of feels like we're being dragged to the side and everyone else is getting something that we don't have. But understand, we do have God, at least. You may not even have family members that can relate with you. You may not have anyone that relates to you. I'm in that situation. And whenever I try to talk to my parents about these things, they seem to not really understand, or they shrug it off and they don't really care. They don't take too much attention to want to talk about these things. But God at least is there. And that's kind of where I'm learning at this point, is to understanding that at least I have God. I may not have those perfect men in my life. I may not have a boyfriend. I may not have a sexual partner. I may not have really any deep connections with any man. And that struggle is real, because a lot of times gay people, all they want is to have a deep connection with another man. And oftentimes it becomes sexualized because that's how the world frames it. Oh, if you want a deep connection with this man, you have to be gay. Oh, if you have sexual feelings for a man and you're a man, then it's obviously a mental illness. Well, I don't think that makes sense. That doesn't make sense to me. And I'd rather not even make this an issue, but it is an issue, because there are real Christians out there that have same-sex attraction that have been denying that for so long, because they've had to put on the front and say, well, God didn't make me this way, even though I'm really feeling this way. And you have to lie to yourself and tell yourself that you're not gay, but you have same-sex attraction issues anyway. And I promise you, I don't know all the answers. I don't know why God gives us these things and why God allows these things to happen. And I struggle with this every day. But understand, everything will be okay. Everything will be okay. And just want to let you know that you're not the only one struggling with this. I'm going through this. All you gotta do is just trust God in this season. Just trust God in whatever you're going through. Whatever that may be. It may be that you want a relationship. Right? You want to be in a relationship with another man. Maybe it's you just want a deep connection with a friend. You're just sick and tired of all the fake friends that you've had. You just want someone that's real, that's someone genuine, someone that you could be intimate with, someone that you can actually share bonds with, someone that has empathy for what you're going through and can relate to your own struggles. And while it may seem discouraging at first, while it may seem like that person's not out there, that person's just a late dream, I promise, if God didn't give you that desire to have that friend would not be there. He would have already He would have put that in you to not seek that out, because He knows that person's out there. If you didn't have that desire for that friendship, for that intimacy, that person would not exist. God knows what you're going through. He knows exactly why you're going through these things, and He knows He has to test your faith. He has to build your faith. And God's allowing you to go through these storms, these seasons, to test you, to see if you're really are gonna be obedient to God, if you're gonna respond to His mercy, His goodness, or if you're just gonna go back to those worldly pleasures that you used to do. And God will give you that right friend at the right time. That friend is out there, because if you didn't have the desire for same-sex attraction, if you didn't have the desire for intimacy with another man or with another woman, God would not have given you that desire. He knows that person's out there. That person is going through the same struggles as you are, because He would not He would not have given you that intense desire for that person if that person wasn't there. I don't know what's gonna happen, but that dream friend, right? That friend that we want to have, that person's gonna be out there somewhere. We just have to wait for it. We have to allow God to move. We have to give Him time to move, to build us to be the best person of ourselves that we can be, so that we can be able to be that person for that person as well. God will get the glory. I appreciate you all for listening, for watching this video. Take care.